Stories you told me about him, I could see that it's night and day. You told me the truth. Walking from here to my bedroom and feel like it's miles away. There's too many roads. And I'm still hard body, I don't feel nobody. Been up wheels, I'm riding on my friendships. Solid, I get big deposits on my whips, exotic. Revving the engine, well, city dependent. I gotta finish it, I want opinions, she wanted things, yeah. She want a ring or some sort of arrangement, something that's dangerous. I wanna change it, I wanna claim it, yeah. I want it painted, yeah. She quick to say no cause she know she a diamond, yeah. She getting quiet, yeah. She on the diet, she want a massage, yeah. I'm tryna get intimate, yeah. Bank account never diminishing, yeah. Niggas are changing their images, yeah. Niggas act hard but they innocent, yeah. Hop in the tank and move militant, yeah, 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 yeah. Find me somewhere out in London, you know that's the hideaway. I need some head and some more support from you right away. Since I've been making donations to you like United Way, you know I do. Stories you told me about him, I could see that it's night and day. You told me the truth. Walking from here to my bedroom and feel like it's miles away. There's too many roads. And I'm still hard body, I don't feel nobody. Been up wheels, I'm riding on my friendships. Solid, I get big deposits on my whips, exotic. Trunk on the engine, I'm on a mission. The Bronco 250, I'm out your division. I got them excited, know it's been a little minute. I left her delighted, made her love off a chrome horn. These suckers despite it, the touch is the Midas. She say fuck me and calm, I just do it like Lover but Nike. Order the ginger for you and your friends. Truck for you rounding that big body Benz. Got a little bit that came up from nothing. We shopping in London and doing it big. Man, they private, but we out in public. I know we the topic for you and your kids. Life Monopoly gon' bro, not an option. If they could've stopped it, they would've been dead. They would've been dead. She could be the wig. Don't play with my head, you test my emotions. Don't be testing my phone every day, I'ma leave it on red. Don't digging and stroking. My new bitch pussy wet like an ocean, I need a new spread. The solid one chosen. I'm gon' wanna stay focused, I can't let them put me on edge. They put me on edge. I just bust on my wrist and this rose gold and it's an edge. I just put pointers on feds. I just counted to me and all cash and got hit from the feds. Yeah, I just told them if we played, then we stop in the growth for they dreads. I just had to put the pyramid, push that I'm never gon' drive them to shit. Build a panoramic goals. We got foes and deuces toast on the beat, dog.
Today, we're going to sweat out some Masters plays, craft up some winners on the diamond, and let's cash another squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. I really want to fade Tiger today. I hate saying that. It doesn't feel right. I mean, who else has the stack to do it?
How are we not pairing this with Judge? Saying the GOAT, I feel like a Judge pairing is required.
You know, Jovan, I could be convinced, and I think I am.
The Sooners to take care of business by 4+ runs tonight. I think the offense for Oklahoma really picks it up when we have Kyson Witherspoon on the mound. I will take my chances that the offense is going to do enough to get this into a pretty ugly game.
There's not enough glue guys to go around, Jovan. They got no glue guys in that locker room in Philly. Zero. They got the opposite. They got the most toxic team of all time. They don't give a hoot. Let's leave them in the Big 2-4.
Have to.
At least for now.
Krabs,
I would have taken Peebles if he was up there.
I'm gonna mute.
Dude, there's no way we're talking about sped up videos.
Dude, he was cooking. He was absolutely cooking. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Thursday, episode 674 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by our two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you have not started tracking your bets on Bookit yet, today could be a great day. Maybe you can log in, track your Masters future that you're sweating out for the next 4 days, even though it probably doesn't matter. And Scotty Scheffler is going to win that puppy, whether we like it or not. Right? That's typically what happens. Jovan, how we doing? Happy Thursday. Chat, how we doing? Make sure if you sign up for Bookit, use code Bookit, W's, along with SeatGeek. W SeatGeek plug, use code Bookit10, and get a discount on your tickets over there on SeatGeek. W's. Jovan, want to give you your flowers. Great call on that over in Coors last night. My goodness, that was sharp as a tack. Sure he can.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Love some green Coors overs, man. They said different.
Beautiful. Yes, dudes. All it took was a couple bitches in the group chat to get the runs flowing, right?
Of course.
God,
sometimes that's what it takes.
Seconds. Within seconds. It's actually crazy. Chat, let me know what you guys are sweating out in the Masters right now. Would love to see it. Would love to know what to root for. And yeah, yay, lads. Let's stay locked in today. Let's stay locked in. I know we got a lot going on today. Not the greatest of slates, not the most games of all time, but and the Masters is on, right? But let's stay locked in, let's stay dialed, and let's still find a way to cash another squad ride tonight. All right. Let me know what you guys are sweating out in the Masters today in the chat, so I know what to root for. Bryson already won. Alex is saying, okay, I wouldn't mind that. Yes, easy puck. Shout out Matt Wallner. W's. People forget that last night. Matt Wallner hitting nukes. Sure he can. Let's fucking go, Matt Wallner. Attaboy.
Bryson is the most bet golfer to win the Masters. So
is he actually?
Surely he comes through, right?
Got the whole group chat. I was asking for golf plays. They're all riding Bryson.
It's all Bryson.
Go ahead and move on from him and Morikawa.
Yeah. Shout out Prime. Shout out.
I'm also realizing I should not have just said the GOAT on the Twins' name. And we'll talk about that in a little bit here.
Really bad. Really bad. Really bad.
I'm hearing that he has the shortest odds to hit a nuke today.
Really bad.
People are saying he might have his power back. He's been getting on base 2 times a game. He's been hitting damn near 500. Him and Alex Call are GOATs, but people are saying Matt Wallner might have the power back after last night, and I'm concerned after saying his name. Already said it once. At this point, we're already screwed. So we'll talk about why that matters here in a moment, chat, along with the rest of the MLB plays we're liking. I know it's not the greatest of slates, but we got plenty of games, plenty of action across all the leagues to talk about today. NBA and NHL, we're going to have to rely on a little bit today. Jovan, we can start out here with some sharp reports, if you don't mind. We'll do the recap, and then we'll hop into our plays for today. Not my best work from yesterday. Shout out the Athletics for not scoring runs for the first time all season.
Yeah, horrific.
Terrible bet. The Red Sox, not as bad, but, same outcome. Still a loser. And then just 2 terrible squares. I'm still trying to figure out what was good with that Pepioid square and why it was even at 17.5 in the first place. And, after an hour, it got bumped down to 16.5. And even that, I don't even think hit. That was a terrible, terrible square. I don't know why it was that high or what the heck they thought they knew. And then Randy Vasquez, just like the A's on the ML, was a terrible play. But Jovan, you carried the weight. You picked up the slack. You swept your prize pick squares. Great looking plays. Lawrence Butler still somehow cashed with the A's not putting up any runs. That was impressive. To be honest with you.
Shout out him being Ellie on the base pass.
He was Ellie, sure. And then shout out Jokic for, Diamond.
Dude,
like he was a point guard.
The Jokic third quarter was something I'll tell my kids about. He was dead.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So long.
He's awesome. Yep.
He got a couple right before halftime. Then he was back alive in the third quarter. He was just unbelievable. It was beautiful.
Sure. Happy we pivoted with the squad ride yesterday. I got a weird feeling about my plays after I was talking about my favorite slate of all time. On the diamond, happy that I did. And we relied on one of Jovan's whales last night. Shout out the over and course. All right, I owe you guys some more winners today. Let's lock in. And Jovan, great work yesterday. Let's run that shit back. Okay.
Sure.
We got some subbies coming in. No, not yet. That's okay, though. We got some YouTube chats. I got you guys pulled up today as well. And yeah, guys, Zach Hampel is not banned from MLB stadiums. You guys don't think I'd be the first one to know that? I'd probably get a phone call about it before it gets released to the public. That was a fake tweet, unfortunately. It was a great one. It was a great tweet. As bait. Yeah, I didn't know MLB had a Centel account. So turns out they do. Unbelievable. Jovan, before we hop in, talk about the sharp report for today, I guess I can ask you a little bit about your Rays and Angels game here first. If we're trying to get the people spoon-fed in these early starts. You want to talk about it real quick?
Yeah, we can talk about it a little bit. So I think the Rays win this series today.
Wow.
We got a crazy game yesterday, which I guess the public consensus seems to be a little off about the Rays. Every single game, people love Baz and everything him related. Game 1, he got shelled. Heard Kikuchi's name 50,000 times or under 50,000 times yesterday, and he got shelled. And today, I probably more than the first 2, I've seen everything positive for Soriano, which I don't really agree with because I like Jose Soriano. I think he's going to be good this year, especially when he gets more innings, but he's a very strikeout-dependent pitcher. And the Rays have been extremely pesky. And I think a lot of people that have taken righties against them have found out, like for all the Skeens betters, all the really good righties they've faced, they have not been striking out very much. So this is a pretty tough matchup for them because especially in Steinbrenner, where I think we saw yesterday, the Rays had I think 2 unicorn home runs over to right field, and the wind's like slightly blowing out there. And they confirmed after a couple weeks of studies that the most wind affected park right now in all of the bigs is no longer Wrigley. It's Steinbrenner Field. So it doesn't take much to go out there, especially to the right field porch there. But if he doesn't get strikeouts, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. So, like, I think that's what's going to happen against the Rays today. So I think they win.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of Soriano love on the feet. Probably not a great sign for him or the Angels. We're out to a great start so far this season, 7-4. I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card, but who knows how long it'll last, right? Can we fade Kyron Paris today? I guess is my question for you here. Before we move on, this guy is Barry Bonds.
I'd probably wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this is not the best matchup to do it, I would say. But the fact they did, usually when these random hot hitters are on a legacy streak and you see a fantasy score up for the first time, that's all the sign you need. They're about to put up a bagel. So I wouldn't rule it out. But I do kind of like runs in this game. So I don't think Littell is going to be perfect either. I think it's probably going to be a game that's decided in the bullpen, where obviously the Rays have the massive advantage there. I think there's going to be runs off of both starters. So I would wait a little day.
Well, I don't know if I can after you're saying all those words. You're telling me when they put up that fantasy score, next thing you know, it Shug's bagel appears?
Yeah, it usually happens. It usually happens.
Goots, you hearing this?
I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
But he might be him.
Yeah, he might just be him. Do you have him on your fantasy team or something?
I wish.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Dude's got 4
I'm more of a Christian Moore guy myself, but Kyron Paris, pretty good.
Well, Jovan, I guess my question is, if I were to take another square and pair it with that Paris square, the less than 5.5 fantasy score, what would it be in that Rays game?
I mean, we could take some demon action Krabs, because I don't know if we have very many. Let me hear you out. I'll hear you out.
And I'm also down for the demon if needed, but the White Sox Guardians game starts up at the same time. We could take a square from that. Noah's Ark. Take one from each.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't tell you no, but that one would probably be significantly squarer, I think, than which, I mean, what I'll tell you from that, I think Gavin Williams is going to absolutely deal. But it's not a hot take, because I don't know if you've got knives. I mean, the White Sox are pitiful as is, but that lineup they put out today is really, really bad.
Dog shit.
So, I mean,
I was eyeing Gavin Williams' fantasy score.
Yeah, which, I mean, of course it's going to be super high because you're playing the White Sox and that lineup. But, yeah, I mean, he's been a little iffy to start the year. I don't think he's going to be iffy today.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take a little two-piece here, chat. Kyron Paris, less than 5.5 fantasy score. I'm going to pair with Gavin Williams, more than 30.5 fantasy score. Okay. Just like yesterday's two-piece, both fantasy scores, although it was both pitchers with Eric Fetty. And I'm forgetting who was on the other side. I don't know how or why, but taking both guys' fantasy scores and cashing. That was free. Keller, sure. That was free. Let's see if we can run that back. Okay. Nothing crazy, 100 bones. Kyron Paris, less than 5.5 fantasy score. The guy's been on fire. I think he's hit home runs in back-to-back games as well. Taking his less than fantasy score and taking Gavin Williams more than fantasy score, the pitcher for the Guardians today against the White Sox. Okay. All right. Well, those are the two games starting up here in the next 20, Jovan. Maybe we could spend some time going over the Sharp Report now, some of our favorite plays and winners on the slate today in any sport. You down?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's run it. W's. Chat, we'll get you started out here with a first 5 money line for the Red Sox. Sure, I like them on the full game ML as well, and I could be convinced. But I also just kind of want to do fades / back the earn run squares on Prize Picks as well, that both look really weird. They're both minus 115 both ways in the book, so no crazy juice or anything. But just looking at how these guys have pitched of late, I mean, Chris Bassett has been nails, not only to start this season, but to close out last season as well. Not that that matters, but, you know, it doesn't hurt looking at that chart. I wanted to take the more than 2.5 runs allowed, you know, against the Red Sox offense that I'm just waiting to get going here. And then I look at Walker Buehler's earned runs allowed square. That's also at 2.5, Jovan. And that's the exact opposite situation where he has been terrible. He's given up 9 runs in those 2 starts so far this season. He's not looked like himself. I want to take that less than earned runs allowed, and I want to back the Red Sox early on. I said, you know what? I'll cut the shit. I'll cut the bullpens out of this and any fluke shit because Toronto is catching a little bit of steam, which I thought was a little bit weird, but maybe that's just because people are seeing Bassett's sub-1 ERA so far this season, and Walker Buehler's been struggling. Maybe that's what it is. People are just locking in Toronto. I don't know. They've also won 3 games in a row, and the Red Sox have lost 3 games in a row, so that could be it as well. But I wanted to stay off the full game ML. That's kind of why I did. I still like it 100%, and I do still think it cashes, but that's why I pivoted to the first 5, that and these squares. Splits look great as well. I think the Red Sox get back on track. I think they put up some runs early on, get the win, but I don't want any fluke shit later on with the bullpens. I'll take the first 5 ML. So push potential for sure, but it helps with the earned run squares. It's looking like we're going to get a couple runs off of Bassett, and Walker Buehler should kind of be nails.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Sure.
I guess you can jump right to that game. I just took the full game ML and cut the shit.
Let's go.
Which
okay.
I definitely would be with you and be so stuck on taking the first 5 ML if not the Red Sox bullpen gives me so much confidence, but they got a good amount of length out of Houck yesterday to the point where I don't think they'll be incredibly stressed, today. And neither bullpen really got stressed yesterday because the starters were pretty good. But they got length out of Houck, so I think they'll be able to match up pretty much any way they want. Plus, you do have Walker Buehler. Part of it's just been because he hasn't had the greatest of outings, in his first 2. Obviously, you got 5 against the Cards and a really bad performance, and then the Rangers game wasn't much better. So you didn't really get past the 5th inning either of those games. I think he can go a little longer, especially against the Jays team that we talked about it yesterday, and what was ultimately their downfall with Tanner Houck. They're really aggressive early in these counts. So against Walker Buehler, who kind of needs a pitcher or needs a lineup that'll give him some, early count aggressiveness to roll over and get that ground ball stuff that he struggled a little bit to have so far in the season. I think it's perfect for him to bounce back a little bit. And then I think the Red Sox bats, you talked about squares, obviously. I think they tap up Bassett. Really good matchup for a lot of those guys. You have a lot of really good sinker hitters throughout that lineup. So I think it'll be good. We'll talk about one of them specifically when we get to the PP squares. But yeah, I just went full game.
WEA lads in the chat sweating out his Masters picks. Need DJ to get going? Sure. Scott likes the first 5 ML. I think they're both winners. I'm not too pressed about it. We got LC in the chat. Bookie Doyle Day. Sure. Running back some runs, some action in the Rockies game. Okay. Could it beat Doyle Day against the Brew Crew? We'll talk about that game here in a little bit. Any college baseball you like today, Jovan? I don't know if you've taken a peep at some of those lines or if they're even out yet. Have you had a chance to look? Or
yeah, there's only they don't really play Thursdays, so it's usually only the SEC has a couple of games. So there's 4 games. I don't really care for any of them.
Okay, that's fair. We got a couple chats in the YouTube chat, and yes, I do keep the YouTube chat up now. Okay, I am watching out for your guys' chats in here. Okay, Spoon Daddy is fading my play and taking Kyron Paris over 1.5 TBs. Can't make it up. We got Joey Morrison here talking about Aroldis Chapman still throwing 102 in year 15 is insane. It's actually insane and probably should be talked about more. Aroldis Chapman, I mean, how does he do it? A guy could throw a baseball through a fucking building if he needed to. We got Justin Shute coming in, dropping the positive vibes. Happy Thursday, fellas. Let's find some winners. Yes, sir, Justin. Why not us? Why not us? Okay, only option we got today. W's. Brian C is saying it's Schwelly Day. Yeah, we'll see if your Braves can come through tonight. They let us down last night, man. Brutal. They let us down last night. All right, Jovan, take me to the Kansas City game here. What do you like about the Royals?
Yeah, so I mean, really, I don't know, just overall dead game for the Royals last night, which we've seen so far this season. They've been pretty prone to. The offense has not been great for really the past week. I guess the most runs they've scored in a game in their last 5 has been 4, and they just got shut out last night. And we talked about that one. You talked about that one. Joe Ryan absolutely shoved. Didn't really get as many strikeouts as I kind of thought he would, but he was dominant in other ways. Bailey Ober, on the other hand, I don't think is going to have the same luxury necessarily, which his numbers are a little skewed. We were talking about that with Goots a little bit because of that first start and just how bad it was. It was the same thing last year. He had a horrendous first start of the year, then kind of started to settle in after that, and he became the guy that was due for a lot of regression because he was getting the ball hit very hard off of him. A lot of it was by lefties, but he put up numbers. He was good. maybe that's not a way to put it, but he was much better against the Astros. He was struggling pitch count wise, a little erratic at times, and I don't know, he couldn't really give them depth into the game. He went 4 innings, but he only gave up 1 run, so it was a much better outing, obviously, than the first one against the Cards, where didn't even make it out of third, gave up 8. But I think this Royals lineup, I mean, they're built for hard contact, which, again, like it's why I thought Joe Ryan would have a lot of success yesterday, and we talked about it. He's a guy that can avoid the bats because when the Royals do make contact, it's most likely going to be very loud. They don't have all the lefties that you would probably want in like a matchup like this against Bailey O'Bear, because that's what he really struggles against. But they've had guys who have seen him plenty. I mean, you're going to see plenty of Bobby Witt today, probably plenty of Salvi too. They've all got good history against him. But they do have some more lefties at the bottom of the lineup that bring in the pop now too, like Drew Waters, who, even though he's a guy, it seems like there's always a guy down at the bottom with the Royals when you bet on them that does job. He might have to be the guy today because he has a golden matchup. So I think it's not a great spot for Bailey O'Bear. On Michael Wacha, you got the other hand. I feel like he's always the short slate guy. You see his fantasy score. You see a lot of these weird squares up. He just goes out there and does job against a lineup that's really struggling to put together consistent offense right now. So he's just kind of the veteran, soft-tossing finesse guy that kind of fits the bill of everything I think you want against the Twins. So riding with the Royals for the midday play.
Took the runs come after the first inning.
Yeah, you would hope so.
You would hope. All right, W Royals play. I do think they get it done on the ML. Back in Wacha, the grizzly old veteran against Bailey O'Bear, who has looked like a shell of himself after getting paid. He's not looked sharp. He's had food poisoning. He's looked like shit. He's been walking people. He's been getting destroyed. He's got a 12.15 ERA. That's an absolute joke for Bailey O'Bear, who's supposed to be, a young ace, a young great arm. Although we're not that high on him. It's embarrassing. Get your fades in while you can. Back Wacha. Royals pull that one out at home. Coming off a loss as well. I could get there.
Sure.
I like it. And you've already talked about that Red Sox play, W's. Okay. Swinging around for me, Gootsy. I think I got another straight bet here for the peeps. Yep. Boots on ground, Goots on grounds at the Caps game tonight. With no OV record-breaking sitch. Got the tickets back, which is fire. Carolina's probably going to win this game, though. I will say. I was a little bit confused as to why this line moved so much today. I know the Caps had the backup goalie in. I feel like it doesn't matter a ton. Maybe it does. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. But seeing the line move, 55 cents from where it opened up because of a goalie sitch didn't make a lot of sense to me. I feel like something's up here, and, all sounds winner to me. Not going to lie to you. So I want to back Carolina, lay some juice here, and I do think they win on the ML. And they've had the Caps number, to be honest with you, in any big spots. They've knocked them out of the playoffs in recent years. They've beaten them pretty good of late when they faced off about 10 days ago. I feel like whenever the Caps and Carolina face off in a big-time game or when the lights are bright, Carolina typically pulls it out and gets the win. And seeing them at minus 160 was a little bit weird to me on the road in DC, especially after Ovi just broke the record. So kind of sounds like a fat, happy, and complacent spot, and it's a win-win sitch for me as well with boots on ground. So do you think Carolina gets the win now?
There's no way you're going boots on ground and fading your Caps, Krabs.
Hell yeah, it's a win-win. You kidding me?
That's insane.
It's a win-win. Yeah, dude.
Insanity out of you.
Well, I think Carolina gets the dub.
Yeah, I think you're on the right side, though. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I wish that wasn't the case. I wish I woke up and the Caps were minus 160. And I'd be like, holy smokes, I can lay with Ovi and the boys. Just can't. Gotta play the cards you're dealt, Can't be biased.
Fair.
I'll go over this last play real quick. It's NBA. Don't want to talk too much about it, and then we'll swing it around to your last one here, Jovan. How about the T-Wolves tonight, flipping from a dog to a fave? I thought that was kind of weird. Thought it was maybe somebody getting ruled back in. No, I don't think so. Both these squads are fairly pretty healthy. Games on TNT as well. This one matters. This one means something. Both these teams still trying to solidify, some standings. And the T-Wolves coming off a loss. Memphis coming off of 3 straight dubs. The Grizzlies have beaten the T-Wolves the last 2 times they've played them this season. So I think the T-Wolves are due for a win here in this matchup. And I still cannot figure out why they flipped to a fave. And let's not forget, I know Minnesota's coming off a loss in their last game, but before that, they were low-key playing maybe their best basketball of the season. Little win streak going on as well. They were looking pretty sharp. I want to back the T-Wolves here on the road as faves when the lights are bright, fading John Morant, who hit a game winner on TNT the other night when he was on there last week or so. This time, it's going to be the T-Wolves and Edwards. And I want to buy low on this team coming off an abysmal performance in that loss.
Sure. You get down with that.
Sure.
It's going to be a fun game.
I think so. Total's pretty high, although it is dropping, but it opened up really high. So I certainly won't be going anywhere near that under. Right? Yeah. JJ's asking, Krabs, any master squares for today? I don't have any, actually, I do have some master squares probably still up and moving that you could take. Check out the Discords. I dropped all the plays, all the golf squares in the Discord as well. I'll drop the link to that in the Twitch chat, my man. Okay? There it is. Boom. If you guys have not gotten involved and joined the Discord yet, please do. Okay, there's like 25,000 people in there right now. And people are talking. They're talking it up. They're chatting it up in there.
Make sure you lock in Roy Lesson Strokes, chat.
Wow. Little Goots POD today.
Don't care how popular it is.
Goots.
You know, I noticed two goats had a little lower stroke squares than last night when I was going through that board, Gootsy. It was
Roy.
Obviously Scotty Scheffler.
Yep.
That son of a gun. And it was Rory. Both guys got bumped down a half a stroke.
They did.
Maybe we get a decent start here. I wouldn't be shocked.
Backing Roy's non-ball knowledge. Okay. All right. I'm just backing my guy, dude. All right.
I hope he gets it done, man. This is the last major he needs to complete the Grand Slam. You'd think he'd already win this one, but in typical Rory fashion, he has not been able to do it. On paper, this should be the one that he should win. This is the one where if you can drive the heck out of the ball, you have a significant advantage, and he's the best driver on the tour. So I think it's pretty crazy that he's never won it. I think it's goes hand in hand with Rory, right, in his career, where he could be the GOAT if he wasn't, a melter when the lights were bright. To be honest,
need some luck on your side as well.
Do need some luck on your side, but you also got to put yourself in the spots.
Total
Slayer with 10 subbies. Not 5. 10.
The GOAT.
Let's go total Slayer at a boy.
What
do you say, kids?
Mucking every day.
Somebody had the squad ride last night. Somebody might have had the alt total, the alt over.
And there's Trent
total
bitching.
Slayer. You're him.
Trent bitching, man.
It's always Slayer, man. Okay. Sure. Spoon Daddy's pissed that I faded Kyron today. I'm sorry, Spoon Daddy. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, bro. Maybe we go for Logan O'Hoppe today, he said. Any thoughts on Logan O'Hoppe, Jovan?
Kind of do
cheer
like
Spoon
Logan
Daddy
O'Hoppe
up? Can you just, even if you don't, can you just say you do? So we can cheer up Spoon Daddy here.
I do like Logan O'Hoppe. I think out of like Littell gives up some hard contact and he's not going to get whiffs. So for like the high strikeout, high power guys that the Angels have, like a Logan O'Hoppe or a Jorge Soler, you're probably going to see one of them send one to the moon.
Could be him. All right. Straight Locks likes him to go yeah. That could be the difference.
Yeah.
It only helps. All right, chat. W's. Let's keep moving and grooving here. Enough talking about my plays. Javon's got DJ Fitz one more.
Yeah, DJ Fitz one more. We'll talk about this one because this one's just super square, but I needed something on the ice. And the Canucks, are you familiar at all with what the Canucks did in their last game? That's now completely irrelevant.
Dog my man.
They played the Stars in Dallas. They were down 3 goals with a minute left in the game, came back and tied it before regulation, ended up winning the game in OT 6-5. Absolutely one of the craziest comebacks I've ever seen. And at the time, that was to keep their playoff hopes alive. But as of last night, their playoff hopes are now dead anyway. And I would have done it regardless of that fact. But now they're playing the Avs in Colorado, dead. Now no playoff chances. They've been eliminated. And they've also beat the Avs, twice already this year. So they do it again. When it doesn't mean shit, I will gladly tip the cap. And then the same thing on the other side, tipping the cap. Heard Flames and Reg on stream yesterday. Shocker in Reg, did not work out. The Ducks ended up beating the Flames last night in OT. Another crazy comeback too, because they scored 2 goals and I believe a minute to end up sending that game to OT, which then they in turn won. Now they get to play the Kings, which we talk about all the time. They've been like a historic home team. They're playing at home tonight, coming off a home loss against the Kraken. So again, another cap tip. They're obviously like massive favorites, both these teams, but needed something on the ice. So it's a cap tip 2-piece.
Okay, a cap tip 2-piece. Can certainly get there with you on fading Vancouver in that spot and back in the Avs, although I typically don't like doing it. It makes sense. It will tip cap if the Avs lose in that spot again. And then you want to take the Kings late night against the Ducks. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of Ducks love on the feed of late. They're coming off of back-to-back wins as well. Could be the right time to fade them. And back the Kings coming off a loss. Before that, they were red hot. I'm in.
Yeah, sure.
Staying on the ice for a little greaser. I'm in. Is this plus chicken?
It's -110.
Wow. Hey.
Yeah, the Kings
doesn't change
huge,
my opinion of it.
Huge favorites.
Okay?
Huge favorites.
Does not change my opinion of it. Honestly, prefer it. Couldn't care less. Fuck the CLV.
Sure.
Give me the -110. I'm in. Hey, it happens. Hey, a greaser there on the ice. Sign me up. The last greaser you had the Dodgers involved. This one's smacking. This one's smacking. Are you kidding me? We're bouncing back after that shit. Jovan, we got Juiced Crane coming in, dropping a 5-unit sub. Well, sure we can.
Boots on ground for the squad ride last night.
Yeah. Oh, it was Juiced Crane who was hitting us up on the feed. Was that who I replied to and said, can we get can you wake these teams up? Can we get the runs flowing?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I get a reply from him. He goes, there you go. And the fucking bet hit in like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Let's go, Crane.
Let's go, Juiced Crane. Sure we can. Boots, we're on ground. Have a day, kids. Have a day. Were you going to go already, or are you just going when you saw the squad ride getting locked in? They were away.
I think he was going already. So I remember he was asking for a stack for that game.
That could not have played out any better. Great to see our guy Juice Crane getting one. That's got to feel good.
Yeah.
We got a hype train moving to Groovin, folks. Don't
OG
typically get
Sour
those mid-show.
Dropping a
OG Sour getting involved in the festivities. Let's go, Jovan.
Let's go, dude.
The boys are buzzing today. The squad rides are hitting. Knock on woods. Okay. The sub bangs are flowing. All right. I know the slate today is not, anything to write home about. No need to call Guinness. Get the Book of World Records people here for the greatest slate of all time. No need. Although the Masters helps. Okay. But we got enough going on today. We're going to be okay. And remember, guys, less than an hour, squad ride time. That's all that matters. Okay. Around 1:50 Eastern. We're all locking in. We're taking our time. We're cashing another one of these puppies. No way I missed a subby. Book of Chew. No way I missed it, Chew.
Wow.
Chew, that's on me, bro.
W Chew, man. W Chew.
Can we get some W Chews going in the chat, please? Do not let that ruin your day, Chew. That's on me, brother. Cannot let that get swept. Appreciate the subby. You're him 23 months. Sure he can. Sure he can, Chew. Dubs. L Krabs, W Chew. Love that, Nate. Love that, Nate. Couldn't have said it better myself in the chat. Okay. All right. Let's get to the squares. Enough talking about greasers on the ice. Yeah. This is why I was a little bit concerned about the Royals. But I do hope those runs start flowing in the second inning on, much like the Rockies game last night, although I think that was the third or fourth inning. Let's get a nerfy. Let's sweat one out right after BTL, immediately after. Let's cash this puppy. Let's get a rare Aubert legacy first inning. I trust Waka as well to get job done. And then let's get the runs flowing in the second, Jovan. No need to score and waste up all your runs, all your offense in that first inning. Let's fade the offense. Let's fade the bats. This Nerfy's -125 on the books, which I thought was a little bit weird, considering Aubert has a 12 ERA. But what do you think, Jovan? Is that weird, or am I just making that up?
It's a little weird, especially with an 8.5 total. I mean,
yeah.
And with what we've seen Bailey Aubert doing some first innings, certainly it being up is probably a little weird. So I can get there with you.
Okay. Yeah, I just got a weird feeling we get a rare Aubert legacy start. Not the whole start. Sorry, that's not the right way. I should have phrased that. Start to the game. He goes out there and we see him get, a couple quick outs, knock on woods. We see Michael Waka go out there, hopefully take care of biz. Next thing you know, we're through the first, and then the runs start flowing. But I did think that was weird. I know there's, those are, pretty familiar names, I guess. At least Waka is. Non-ball knowers might not know Bailey Aubert. If they don't, they need to get back in the lab. But, I thought it was a little bit weird that it was up just based off of Aubert's stats this season. Waka hasn't been, elite. And the total is a little bit high. So for that total being -125, I think we're in a good spot here. Let's get in, get out, get a quick nerfy with these veterans on the bump. as we get a Jules resub coming in. Let's go, Jules.
Let's go.
Sure we can. We are so back. 'Tis the season for nerfies and first 5 undas. W Jules. Sure we can. Appreciate the subby. A lot of subbies coming in today on a Thursday, Jovan.
A lot of them.
Great vibes.
A lot of them.
Tons
Love
of
that.
subbies. Tons of subbies. Way more than on the surge stream. Way
A lot more. So much more, dude.
Yep. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. I want to see. Oh, we got Walker Buehler. Well, I already kind of talked about that one a little bit, Jovan. Walker Buehler has a nasty earned run square up there on the board that I simply cannot resist. Had pretty good luck with these earned run squares so far this season, besides that Merrill Kelly bullshit the other night. Besides that, had a pretty good read. And this is not a weird, super juicy to the under type play. No, this is just a weird chart. And, like in the Red Sox today, especially first 5, and back in Walker Buehler to go out there and have his best start of the season so far, which, by the way, doesn't take much because he's had a couple bad starts, a couple bad outings up there on the bump. But I think that changes tonight at home against Toronto. You see the best of Walker Buehler so far this season in a Red Sox uni, and you see him go less than that 2.5 earned runs allowed. Even if the total's at 9, I low-key like the under. Although Bassett will be giving up 3 or more, so that kept me off the under. I'll stick with the Red Sox angle here and back in Walker Buehler to do something good in a Red Sox uniform for the first time.
Love that. And I can take you to a hitter because I like quite a few of them on the Red Sox.
Yeah.
But I've got one up here. I like Alex Bregman, 1.5 hit run RBI, which ideally, I know if Bassett involved, of course, I want a really good sinker hitter, and that's what Bregman has been all throughout his career, but it's been pretty hot. He's seen more of these matchups than you probably would have thought in the first week and a half of baseball so far, and he's been crushing them. So he's going to be here today, and he's also going to be kind of sandwiched in a good spot in the lineup, I think, with a lot of the guys that are going to see Bassett pretty well. Because Bassett, I guess the real matchup you would want against him, in a smaller sample size, would just be take any sort of lefty that's also a really good sinker hitter, or a lefty that you think has enough discipline to walk, because that's where Bassett's walk issues come from. Well, in all likelihood, their lineup's not out yet because it's a little early, but he's going to be hitting behind Devers, who is both patient enough and a really good matchup for him. He's going to be hitting probably behind Devers in front of Casas, who is a golden matchup for him as well. And then Wilyer Bray is going to be somewhere lurking behind, probably in the 6th spot. He might even get brought up a little higher today. So I love Bregman's matchup. It's probably one of the better ones you can have as a righty against Bassett, but he's also going to be surrounded by a lot of guys that I also think have really good matchups. So I would not be surprised if you see Bregman rip one to the wall and then Casas hits one to absolute Mars off of Chris Bassett, or the other way where Devers gets on and Bregman hits an absolute whale. So I like just overall those matchups that are stuck together in the lineup. Obviously, I think the Red Sox touch up Bassett today, and he's going to have to be right in the middle of it. So I know the square is also relatively red, so that doesn't hurt either, seeing the square and looking at the chart. But I love his spot today, so I'm going with Alex Bregman. And then Ty Jerome, the Cavs are playing in a pretty meaningless game today because they're doesn't really matter for them at this point. It matters for the Pacers, why the Pacers are such big favorites, because the Cavs are resting Donovan Mitchell. I think Garland's out, Mobley's out, pretty much the entire team besides Jared Allen, which Jared Allen's probably not going to play for that long either. I know he's just trying to play every single game so far this season. So pretty much it's the bench unit, and Ty Jerome going up against a really bad, transition defense, just overall bad defense in the Pacers, and a high-paced game. This is where I will gladly take him to be pork. This is his perfect opportunity to shine, and we've seen him in roles like this, even when just one of Donovan Mitchell or Garland are out. He's been really good at taking these opportunities. So now that he has every single opportunity in the world where he's going to be pretty much the only starter in the lineup for a majority of the game against this Pacers defense, gladly, I will get involved.
I've already locked it in. Absolutely love this play. I dropped a link to it in the chat as well on Twitch, Sharp Report 4-man. And Jovan, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Bregman the guy who hit a ball to the Green Monster last night and somebody made a crazy play, a leaping catch that he got an RBI on, but should have been a double in the gap. And I was thinking to myself, wow, he just got fucking robbed. Would love to back him today. He had a pretty good piece. Still ended up with 1 hit run RBI yesterday. I took that yesterday, did not hit. Let's go back to him today. He's coming through for us. Going to help out that Red Sox wager as well.
Right hook to it.
I'm in. Sure. Welcome back. Welcome back. And Ty Jerome as well. Pretty red chart too. Always down to back him. Pretty darn good ball player. No way. It's already cake.
I was about to say
Zach
Zach
Neto
Neto.
alive.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, I didn't know he was back already.
W. Lockmouth coming in hot. You're good, Gootsy. Good to see you, Lockmouth, in the chat. Do we have a Masters broadcast yet on TV? How is the Masters just not on TV the entire fucking day?
2 o'clock on ESPN will be the main broadcast. But for now, you can watch on masters.com for free.
Yeah.
So quit bitching.
Okay. All right. It's beat, though. All right. JJ is asking in the YouTube chat, Jovan, thoughts on the over in the Royals game?
I like it. I'm kind of with you, Krabs. I don't know if that's going to start super hot. And I guess I don't know. It's a short slate today. The two sharper looking overs, I guess, that one of these seems to always soar under on a really devious slate like this is probably the Royals game and the Red Sox game. I think the Red Sox are going to do a good chunk of that themselves. So maybe the Royals one is the one that doesn't eventually get there. I don't know. Especially if they win. I don't know if the Twins bats are going to be alive to do that. So maybe a live bet over, if anything.
Okay. Hopefully after the first. Sure.
Yeah.
We got Remilo coming in hot, resubbing as well for 30 months. You're him, Remilo. Don't let anybody tell you differently. We got Auto Gelato coming in hot as well, resubbing for 38 months. Sure he can. Two goats, Remilo and Auto Gelato. Good to see you guys. Okay. Appreciate all you goats in the chats. Let's see how my guys are doing on the Masters leaderboards. I put a couple prize pick squares in the Discord chat. You guys can still check them out. I think maybe you can take a handful of those squares still. Looks like Akshay, Shane Lowry, DeChambeau have not teed off yet. I got Phil in one of my polls. Jovan, he's 3 over. Hate to see it. He's losing steam. But he's my worst golfer. I got a couple other guys, though. Joaquin Neiman, he's 2 under. I got Michael Kim. He's 1 under. I got Thompson. He's somehow 1 under. Sure he can. That was a crazy pick. Grazerman's 1 under still. That's a sleeper pick right there. I took this guy, Elazabal, who Goots is telling me he's won a Masters before. Never heard of him. He was up for 77 strokes. Yeah, he's like 80 years old. Yeah. I took the more than. He might actually win this tournament, Jovan. He might end up winning. He's only 1 over. He's right there in striking distance. Shit. Dustin Johnson with an early bogey. That's Moose. Patrick Cantlay bogey in the first hole. That's Moose. I have his less than strokes. And then Goots, my guy on, is 2 over now after another bogey. He's toast. I'm moving on.
Krabs.
Moving on.
It's round 1.
I know, but I have his less than strokes for today. So
okay. Yeah, GG.
He's actually toast today.
GG.
Nerfy in a Little League park. I bet, Trent. No way we're that pissed about a Nerfy, guys. Come on. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving here. Jovan has had enough golf talk today for the rest of the year, so let's move on and talk about the Diamond really quick. We could touch on some of these other games that we have not mentioned, although it's probably only 1 or 2.
Yeah, all 2 of them.
Yeah. Any thoughts on, I guess Milwaukee course is one of those 2. We haven't really talked about too much.
Yeah. Still kind of, we were talking about this before. I think the Rockies win. That lineup they put out today is rough enough, I guess, for me to stay off, but so is Quinn Priester, who's coming back on his 75th team to give it a try in Coors Field today. I think he has a pretty tough time against the Rockies lineup, despite the fact that you're missing a couple guys, including Tovar, in that lineup today. You got Kyle Farmer hitting 3rd in the big 2-5, but that only means he's probably about to send one to Mars. Him and maybe Nick Martini, because Quinn Priester is just a really bad ball player. Never been in, never will be in. So, I will be fading most likely after he gets a start or 2 under his belt. But I still think it's a really rough start for him. And if there's anybody I respect out of the Rockies pitching staff, it's probably not super lucky Kyle Freeland. It's definitely Feltner.
Yeah. Look, Feltner's got that 2.5 run square up there, but it's not that weird.
No, because it's Feltner, dude.
It's Feltner. It's in Coors. We saw 20 runs in this game last night. The total's at 10.5. He's facing a solid, potential playoff lineup in the Brew Crew. But it's a pretty redded out chart. He's been pretty solid in his last couple appearances, and I would not be shocked to see that go less than, even though I am a, fade the charts merchant at times. That's one of those that I simply will not be taking the more than on, because I think it's just a square up there that might be bait a little bit here. Who the heck is taking that less than after what we saw last night? Not a soul.
Yeah.
Not a soul.
And I mean, this is probably one of the few times, maybe the only time, you're going to see a 2.5 regular square of Ryan Feltner earned runs in course.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you'd be a lot closer, I think, to a 3.5 regular square any other start. Just happens to be that it's obviously a little cooler now and things are different, but you still have the Brewers coming off of 17 runs. If you look at this is the first game of the series, which I say this about every single time there's in Coors. Whatever the first game is that they have a million regular squares up, cake. It happens every time. And I've tried to get involved with a lot of them. They have a million regular squares up for the Brewers that obviously after yesterday and like the last couple games are just the greenest squares you've ever seen in your life. So, I mean, it's looking extremely easy today. I would say it's anything Brewers related, but I do still think there's a world that they show up against Feltner and that's not enough.
Okay. I'll tell you what, he's got a 15.5 pitching out square that he has not gone more than yet this season. The over is -130 on the books. I feel like if he wasn't going to go out there and pitch okay, if he wasn't going to go less than 2.5 earned runs, if they weren't going to probably win this game, that square wouldn't be up there and the odds wouldn't be where they're at, to be honest with you, and that wouldn't be the case. That's a great sign, I feel like, for Feltner going out there and having a decent start. If he was giving up more than 3 runs, that 15.5 pitching out square probably wouldn't be where it's at.
Yeah. You also, I don't know why the Rockies yesterday didn't put a position player in a lot earlier. Like they didn't put him in at all. Like they were running actual relievers for the entirety of the game. I felt like they could have put a reliever in the 7th or 8th inning if they really wanted to. At the very least, the 8th. Like didn't really make much sense to me that a position player didn't see the mound at all in that game. Obviously would have been great for our demon stack potentials and or Reese, but they never did it. So they only have, I think, 2 guys that didn't pitch yesterday. So, I mean, ideally, you would need some length out of Ryan Feltner. Yeah, they only have Scott Alexander. Scott Alexander, I guess, can be used a little longer, but Alexander, Bird, and Herget, he can also be used a little longer. Those are the only 3 guys that did not pitch yesterday. So you're probably going to see all of them at some point, but it's a pretty rough leash.
You want to tell the people what you're telling me as well with all these Brewer squares?
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. They're just insanely green, dude.
Churio, less than 1.5 TBs is just so crazy. Like Drew Bender's talking about in the YouTube chat right now. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
1.5 is a normal square. Look at the chart. Give me a fucking break.
Legit, all of them.
Everybody in chat at the same time simultaneously saying they're all going to stay green tonight. Already seen it. It's actually crazy.
Big Bad is a Brewers fan, I'm pretty sure. So he's said every single Brewers is green every day. But yeah, I mean, more of these than not are probably going less than.
The Churio TBs is -125 to the over on the books. I mean, as it probably should be. I still like the less than.
That's really, really low. That's weird.
Wow. So you think even if it's juicy, you're saying that, yeah, you're surprised that it's even that low. You were thinking maybe -145.
Yesterday, right? For reference, I mean, a little different being that it's Senzatella, but he was -165. And so were a lot of the other ones.
This is a guy who went over 5 with 5Ks on opening day as well. So he's capable of doing nothing at the plate. Yeah.
I might have to take a little Feltner more than pitching outs, Churio less than TBs, a little greasy stack, 2-piece.
It's the most Krabs line I've ever heard.
I know it's only a 2.5xer, but what am I going to cry about it for 0.5x? No.
Yeah, sure.
No, I'm not going to cry about that. I'm going to lock that shit in, not give a hoot about it. Right? Come on. I'm locking it in. Nothing crazy. $150. Pays out $375. So you throw an extra 50 bones on there. Next thing you know, the payout isn't too bad. Ryan Feltner, more than 15.5 pitching outs. which is super juicy on the books and just weird in general. And Jovan had some great points as well, saying they might need some length out of him today with with that bullpen. And then pairing it with the Churio less than TBs, which is just ridiculous. Just an absolutely absurd square.
Really bad.
Yeah, W find Drew Bender in the YouTube chat. And 19 Scott immediately ruined the vibes in the YouTube chat. Bet dead after the first at bat. Okay. Let me borrow that crystal ball, my man. I'd love to use that for a day. Can get rich pretty quick. All right, let's keep moving and grooving here. Jovan, one other game we have not touched on yet. A game that's, I'm not ecstatic to touch on or talk about, but we will.
Yeah.
After how last night played out, I mean, maybe a nominee for worst pitch of the year against Trey Turner there. Somebody give me a bat. I could probably fucking hit that over a fence. Terrible pitch. But shout out Trey Turner coming back, late in that game and hitting a nuke to send Philly to a win. Tonight, you're getting Atlanta as a favorite again. Now, Schwellenbach has been pretty solid. Has yet to give up a run yet this season. Luzardo has been pretty damn good as well. Jovan, I'll be honest, the opener at 8 in this game made me think one of these two young arms gets roughed up today. I don't know who it is, but I think all it takes is one of them to not have their best stuff for this game to go over. I kind of like the over. One of those games I care more about that opening total than where it's at right now at 7.5.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think at some point you're getting runs, even if it's late in the game. Honestly, the pitcher that I feel a little more likely, I guess, to get turked, I think is Schwellenbach. And
wow,
I'm interested to see what his matchup is going to look like when he can't strike out 15 like the Marlins. Like it's a much different matchup, especially against righties. The Phillies have been extremely pesky, just like a lot of other teams, and they also flash power with it. They're one of the few, out of the times that we've seen it against heavy strikeout pitchers that have the fair mix of both. It's I think Schwellenbach is certainly giving up his first run of the season today, and I think there might be a couple more of that. So I do not like Schwellenbach today. I think the Phillies might take another one here.
Wow, you lean Phils. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I'm not sprinting to the books to lock in the Braves, especially with Schwellenbach. Perfect. Not perfect, but ERA's perfect through his first couple outings there. Looks like we got an O-Hoppy double. Wow. Well, Jovan, no nuke, but maybe somebody out there took his more than 1.5 TBs.
Sure.
Hopefully. Although it's against your Rays. Sheesh. We got a 1-0 lead for the Angels over the Rays right now. Still early on in these games, guys. And the White Sox struck first. They're up 1-0, but don't you worry. Cleveland is getting ready to strike back here. Stephen Kwan with a leadoff single. And now J-Ram up to the dish. Can't make it up. Taking the Guardians pitcher's fantasy score, giving up runs in the first inning again. I feel like the White Sox score all their runs in the first inning, and then they don't do anything the rest of the game. Something I've noticed so far this season.
Yeah,
yep.
Hopefully.
And J-Ram immediately out. Thank you, Gavin Williams. Okay. All right, chat. Let's keep moving and grooving here. Enough talking about these baseball games that we're not even in love with. We've already talked about the ones that we are during the Sharp Reports. And yes, W actually Nate in the chat. Geek Goot. Sure we can. Let's head to the ice real quick, Jovan. I got a couple cues for you. I actually did go over the ice today, take a peep at some of these games. Okay. And I wanted your thoughts. I wanted your thoughts on Buffalo, that I feel like is kind of a weird team, kind of like the Orioles of the ice, where whatever Sharp just never fucking hits in games involving that team. And if you do the opposite, you're rich. Well, I'd say Columbus looks like the Sharp play here with them catching 15 cents of steam. Why are they this much of a favorite against Buffalo, who's on a crazy win streak? Columbus has lost, 3 of their last 4 games. So flip that motherfucker to the opposite and just take the Sabres on the ML plus 120 free.
Yeah.
That's where my head's at in this game.
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked at all, Krabs. I mean, the CBJ is such a weird team right now, too, because they went through their little insanity run where they're really pushing for the playoffs. Now, I guess technically it's not dead, but I think after tonight, I think if they lose, they get eliminated. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But so it's just such a weird team. This feels like a game that if there's anything left in the tank for CBJ, they've got to empty it, which when the Sabres are involved on the other side, probably means goals. And we get maybe not like the crazy high-scoring games like we had yesterday where we had fucking 8-7 Wild and Sharks game, and a bunch of the games had 5,000 goals, but probably something that mirrors that a little bit.
Okay. All right. They don't control their own destiny. Lockmouth is saying the Jackets are out. Okay.
I don't believe they're not eliminated, but it's pretty much official.
Okay. All right. What are your thoughts on Rangers Islanders? Looks like a pretty even game on paper. In the ML would say so as well. I mean, Islanders only, minus 125. The team's not playing their best hockey of late. Rangers coming in off of 3 Ls. Islanders have lost 3 of their last 5. Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it's kind of same situation. Both these teams are, I believe they have the same amount of points as the Jackets. So, like, it's teams that are also dead, but not technically. So, I mean, this is another one where you're probably going to have to throw shit at the wall and hope it sticks. If you're either of these teams, be super aggressive. But when you're the Isles, typically that starts with defense. I know it didn't in that Preds game where they really had to go all out, and that game had 13 goals. But I do think it's probably going to be a slower game to start. Probably lean Isles, if anything. I just hate anything back in the Rangers right now. But it's a gross one. I would not put Cullen in that game for a second.
All right. Thoughts on Dallas and Winnipeg? I kind of liked Dallas opening up minus 140. When this line first came out, now they're down to minus 125. I'm assuming there's been some sort of goalie info or I don't know. There's some sort of reason why this line is moving, and I cannot really figure it out.
I don't think so.
But I wanted to back Dallas a little bit, coming off of 3 losses.
Yeah, I don't know quite that I'm there. I'll be honest with you. But you probably couldn't ask for a little better of a spot. I just don't want to fade the Jets. Like, you have the Stars coming off of 3 straight losses, and then that you remember the Canucks collapse that I was talking about. That was the Stars that were on the other end of it. So that was their last home game. That was 2 days ago. So everything kind of lines up for the Stars. I'm just not quite sure the Jets are the team that I want to fade in the process. It's like I probably lean that way with you. I'm just a little scared to push the button.
Yeah, that's fair. I kind of want to take him, man. Thought that opener was kind of weird. But I don't like where the line's moving, so I might end up sitting that one out.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on, and Chad, if you guys missed it on the Sharp Report, Jovan has a greaser on the ice with the Avalanche on the ML and the Kings on the ML. What are your thoughts on the late night game, Seattle-Vegas? I know Vegas is laying a big old number. Total moved up almost a whole goal here in this game. Are we getting some late night bangs?
Yeah, you would think so. The Kraken, I mean, somebody has scored 5 goals, like including them. There's been somebody who scored 5 goals in like their last 5 of their last 6 games. So like they're giving up goals. They just gave up 7 and almost got shut out against Utah. It probably should have gotten shut out. So I mean, it would make sense that there is goals. Just defensively, they have nothing left in the tank, or offensively, they're dominating these games against inferior teams. One of the two is happening. It seems like every single game right now towards the end of the season. So VGK, I mean, could probably have their way with them. I just hate backing teams off of, I don't know, a couple like of really big competitive defensive style games. Like they just played one against the Avs where they lost in an under game. Had the Canucks right before that, the Flames right before that, the Jets right before that, the Oilers right before that. Those are 5 gutted out physical games before now you get a game where you can splooge a little bit against the Kraken, you would think. So, I mean, maybe a high scoring game, maybe VGK dominates, or maybe defensively they're a little gassed. Probably runs, or not runs, goals.
Josh, you keep your head up, man. The Braves will figure it out. It might not be Mom and Pa's Braves, but they'll still figure it out. They'll right the ship. Don't you worry, my man. They'll get it going. Okay? Yeah, it might not be tonight, though, Lockmouth. You're not wrong. Might not be tonight. Looking at those odds. Yep. All right, Jovan. Hate to do it, man, but I got to take you to the NBA for a sec.
Do you?
I got to take you to the NBA for a hot sec.
Do you?
I already talked about Minnesota, loving Minnesota. And look, it's hard to find meaningful games at this point of the season, right? Only a handful of games left. I'm no mathematician, but I know these guys play 82 games. I'm seeing teams like the Knicks have played 79 games. That means only 3 games left, handful of games left, Jovan, for these teams. Does that mean we're not going to have any TNT 2 pieces? on this upcoming Tuesday. Is that what that means?
Yeah, because that's the play-in tournament. So I guess technically you could, because I believe both of those games are on TNT.
Okay, sure we can.
Technically,
that's a W.
That could stay the same. It's a little different, I guess.
That could be the difference, honestly, Jovan. I'll be excited to crap that puppy up.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we do have 2 TNT games tonight.
That was what I was going to say. I wouldn't mind taking a trip over there to TNT, trying to craft up a 2-piece. We've had some pretty good luck doing that. And yeah, chat was asking about it early on when we fired up BTL. So I don't know. Maybe we'll leave it up to them. They don't seem too ecstatic about the idea. What do you guys think in chat? Do you guys want a little TNT 2-piece for tonight? Is that something you'd be interested in? Would you be tailing that puppy on Prize Picks? A little TNT 2-piece involving the Cavaliers and Pacers. I don't know if that game has any meaning tonight, looking at that spread, right? But we'll find ways to
for the Cavs, it doesn't.
The Pacers, it does. Sure.
Yeah, Cavs
are laying 9.5. Cavs are sitting everybody. Sure. And then Minnesota, Memphis late night. I'm liking Minnesota. I got a feeling we could find some squares in that game. And look, even with the total dropping a couple points, really high opener. Some people are going over in that game. We just got to find them. Or we could get weird and maybe fade some goats. Who knows? Who knows where this journey will take us, Jovan, right?
Yeah.
I like Luke. I like Luke likes that look. Try saying that 10 times fast. I like Luke likes that look in the chat. I like his vibes today. Krabs, you say jump, I say how high. I like where his head's at today. He's bought in. Great to see that from Luke likes that look in the chat. And yes, you might need a new name, my man. That's ridiculous name. Ridiculous name. Jovan, try saying that. I want to hear you say it. Like, that is a mouthful.
Luke likes that look.
Okay. He made it seem like it was the easiest thing on earth. Sure he can. Sure he can. All right. Let's get to the drawing board here. Why don't we craft up a TNT 2-piece?
Wow.
Enough messing with the chat. Let's lock in here. Let's dial in here. And can we cash another TNT 2-piece, Jovan, as we get a Money Talk Sports sub bang? Not for himself, because he's not a me guy, but for the community. Sure we can. W Money Talk. Let's fucking go, dudes. Atta boy. Looks like Rav wants a little TNT 2-piece. Sure. Maybe he'll put it up on the Snap story.
Love a Rav.
If you guys aren't following the Bookit Snap, figure it out. Drop a follow. Okay. Pretty sure I saw a loose Rav in the chat. Yeah, there he is. Sure. All right. Let's start with this first game. I'm going to take you through the same journey that I typically do, Jovan, because it's been working. I want to ask you how you think this game plays out between Cleveland and Indiana. You already mentioned game doesn't mean shit for the Cavs. They're resting all their guys, but it means something for the Pacers.
It does. And I think there's definitely a chance that it does get out of hand. The Pacers are, I think, -9 still, or around there. Maybe I'm seeing some 9.5s and some 10s. But
damn,
I kind of lean the Pacers in the game. Even though I have, which I'd be fine to diversify. Like I have Ty Jerome on the other side, and I really don't think that'll be too heavily blowout influence. But I'd be fine taking, maybe we take one of the Pacers guys that's like a second unit guy.
Ooh, I'd be super down for that, dude. Back up on the Pacers, who might get some extra burn tonight. Let's take a peek.
Andrew Nembhard potentials.
Wow, that could be the guy.
I guess he's
Let's
not
take a peep at some of his
unit,
squares.
but he'll captain it for a bit, I would assume. Mathurin will be
He's
down
got a
there
9.5 point square, 17.5 PRA. Probably stay away from some of the goats like Miles Turner and Pascal, right?
Yeah.
Tyrese.
Seeing some names in chat. Great calls, but no squares up for any of the guys that we're talking about in chat, unfortunately. No McConnell, no Toppin, no Mathurin, no nothing.
That sucks. Okay. Aaron Nesmith. He's been kind of hot though, man.
They do have Siakam up, Rav. He has a lot of squares up.
They do have Siakam up. I guess we should take a look at the Cavs as well. I mean, we're going to have to here. DeAndre Hunter rebounds looks kind of weird, although might not want to be back in starters in this game like you were talking about.
Well, the thing for them, I guess DeAndre Hunter maybe is a little different because he will be an actual starter come playoff time or get massive minutes there. But all of these guys are subbing in here for the actual starters. So I think they're still going to get huge minutes.
Hi.
The big bat. Gifted subbers.
No way we got a 5-unit whale coming in from the big bats. Brewers fan the big bat?
Let's go.
Sure we can. Attaboy. Big bat, we appreciate you, bro. You're him.
For sure will.
If you just got blessed up with a sub bang. Gambler 0625, Bloomsy 11, Queen Mule, Slick 1729, Alan PG, and then another subby coming in here for freak time picks. You guys just all got blessed up. Sure you can. W big bats. Let's fucking go. Vibes are high. Love to see it. Jovan, what about Dean Waite? When's the last time you heard about Dean Waite?
Probably from some Lat or Rav notebook, dude.
Wasn't Dean Waite on the Miami Heat at one point?
No.
Okay, I'm making that up.
Yeah. Max Strus, who does play for the Cavs and is inactive tonight.
Dean Waite squares make it seem like he might have the best game of his goddamn career.
Yes. Just remember, he's probably a lot of these guys are going to look very, very red because they're starting today.
Yeah. It's a good point, man. There's going to be an uptick. Somebody's got to do it, though.
Somebody does have to do it.
Could it be Sam Merrill?
Could always be Sam Merrill.
Go look at Sam Merrill squares. Tell me you don't want to take him after looking at those.
I mean, yeah, dude. They're all the whole team's going to be red, Krabs.
I mean, this might be a night Sam Merrill tells his grandkids about. For being real here. It might be.
It honestly could be.
I mean, we could take your guy Ty, but we probably want to diversify.
Yeah, I wasn't going to bring that up. I was going to figure that was set in stone. We were going to diversify.
Chat, why do I want to take Sam Merrill so bad? And who wants to tell Carson B in the chat?
Yeah, he
Who wants to tell
unfortunately
him?
got sent.
Who wants to tell him? Caesar said, did I get a lifetime ban on Twitch? Like, that's ridiculous. Damn, what did you say, Caesar? Probably something really bad and deserving, to be honest with you. Dean Wade is Dwayne Wade of the Heat. Certainly not looking at his stats and his squares, Chris Raptor, but maybe he will be tonight, to be honest with you. No way, he just got an eagle. Every sharp in their mothers doing backflips. Saw a lot of Colin on the feet. Maybe he finally gets one done. All right. Yeah, yay, lads, man. I don't know what the heck he said to do that, but it must have been bad.
Really bad.
That ban will not be getting revoked. Nope. All right. I think we're got to go with our guy, Sam Merrill, here. I can't stop thinking about him.
Wow. Sam fucking.
Do you want to isolate and just take his points? Or do you want to just take Sam Merrill to have an absolute field day out there, just doing everything, grabbing boards, diamond, getting to the rack, really doing it all?
I mean, he's the spot up guy. So I don't think we need to get too super
points.
cute. Let's take his points, especially if Ty Jerome's setting him up.
It's good points. Man. All right. Now let's head to the late night game on TNT tonight. By the way, W Subby from Lockmouth. Blessing up King Guwap with the resub. Let's fucking go, Lockmouth. You're him. Appreciate you, Beast. W's. Big Bad, he does not have any 3 squares up, but that's okay. He's going to hit 4 threes. And
He's got a demon up, which is 4 threes. So, I mean, his line's 11.5 points. So,
okay.
Same thing we'd need there.
Okay. All right. Let's head to the late night game here, Jovan. I'm liking the Timberwolves. I guess we could take a peep at some of their squares first. But again, I like points in this game. So I wouldn't mind taking someone on the Grizzlies if there's a square that you're eyeing. If there's a square in the chat that anybody's liking, down to hear you out, even if it's square in this game, because I do think we're getting some points.
Yeah.
Anything off the rip that you were eyeing, or if not, we can dive into the lab here.
Well, so I'll tell you this, Krabs. First, hashtag thank you, Big Bat. Another gifted sub to coffee.
No way. Let's go, Big Bat. Attaboy.
I've been reading up on, I guess, what the difference has been with the Grizzlies since Taylor Jenkins has been fired. And there's a bunch of different points, but one of them is Edey's getting more minutes, which when they played or when they have played with Edey, he's really just been bodying Gobert. So they brought in like a bunch of like the guards, and I guess the forwards have been rebounding a lot better. And they were super aggressive on the glass. And there's also a guy that has not hit a 3 in 5 games, where another thing that's happened since the switch is that the Grizzlies catch and shoot defense has been fucking terrible. So there's a guy I'm staring at right now. Jaden McPork.
No way you want to go to McPork.
We might have to get Jaden McPork involved.
Okay. Yeah, dude. I could be convinced on Jaden McPork. What were you thinking?
Might take his PRA. Say go out there and do job, especially because, I mean, if Edey's getting more minutes and Gobert was already having trouble against them, you would assume he's probably going to be pretty aggressive, just like he was, I think, the second time they played him. I was looking at that. Somebody dropped a nugget on Twitter about that, and I can kind of buy into that.
Yeah, I really like that play. Jaden McBuckets. Money Talk Sports, Nasreed Threes is a goblin, unfortunately. It's also pretty green. It'll probably hit again, but
just took Nas in the last game, so I'm not dying to go back to him.
Yep.
I guess I guess not cool. I don't want to say cool. It sounds really bad, but the interesting part about this game, I guess, is Jalen Wells, I assume, would be seeing a lot of time on Anthony Edwards. So they're going to have to pivot, obviously, there now that he's seriously injured. Hope that works out well and he's okay. But there's probably going to be some sort of adjustment made pretty heavily onto Ant and like all the guard scoring period. And you already have to make some sort of adjustment with Edey down there getting more minutes, and Gobert couldn't fucking box him out for shit. So, I mean, even though Nasri can certainly be involved in this, like, I feel like the 3s and the 4s are going to have ample shooting room.
Dude, I'm in. Another square I do want to throw its hat into the ring. Probably not even worth the time because you're not going to want to do it, but it's fading your TCU GOAT, and that's Desmond Bane, less than 3s.
You know?
Really juicy to the under on the Bucks.
I wouldn't hate that because I would assume, I think I saw this too in that same little thing I saw on Twitter that, I mean, McDaniels was literally guarding, just like they did like Jalen Wells against Ant Edwards. Jaden McDaniels, who's the best on-ball defender for them, had a lot of time on D-Bane, even when John was playing. So, I mean, I wouldn't hate it.
You kind of like that hat being thrown in another ring.
I do.
You like it.
I don't hate that.
I mean, that's what I'd want to take because I'm a freak and I like taking weird, nasty, less than squares. But look, if you're giving me Sam Merrill, I want to let you pick this second one. I've already got the T-Wolves ML in this game, so I want to leave it up to you. I don't want to be biased here. Let my T-Wolves ML make me like that less than 3s more.
Well, yeah, we still have a pro T-Wolves square. I want Jay McDaniels in there. I'll give you Merrill. We get McDaniels.
Okay. Yeah, let's run it. I'm
in
there.
I would be down to sneak that D-Bane fade into a slip.
Okay. Yeah, dude, we got to put that in something. Is there another NBA square up and moving tonight?
I'm sure we can find one somewhere. Landry Shamet up for 1.5 3s. I'm actually certain. Last time I saw that was that bar that says 4 on his chart. Trae Young is playing the Nets today.
Oh, God. Up in New York?
In Brooklyn. Trying to see what he has. He has no regular assist square, which is Moose, but I've taken assists against the Nets 15,000 times this season because they blitz the ball handler.
Yeah.
Kind of think that game might be close. I feel like one of those two big dogs that we have, I think they're both 13.5 today, is going to win outright. So maybe it's the Nets. Hope not, because this is a pretty important game for the Hawks. But they blitz the ball handler, so maybe something Trae Young assist, or I think he only has like a regular square RA up there. Could be the move.
That could be the move. All right. Chad, I did also lock in that TNT two-piece. I will give you guys the link to that as well. If you want to get involved in tail, I just threw $150 on this puppy. Little Sam Merrill, more than 11.5 points, and Jaden McDaniels, more than 17.5 PRA from Jovan. Boom. I'm in there. Got to send it to myself on Twitter so I can drop it here in the chat for you guys. Okay? And here it is. Get it while it's hot in the Twitch chat, folks. Get it while it's hot. Hey, I know we got some Angels runs going on, but I haven't heard anything about Kyron Paris. Has he not splooged yet?
Don't jinx it, Krabs. He's only had one AB and he struck out.
Okay. All right. A lot of ball game left. You're right. But yeah, need Gavin Williams to get some more fantasy points as well here. Need him to really settle in.
Yeah.
Need some strikeouts as well. All right. Another Trout line out. That's all right. Trout looks dialed so far. Okay. Jovan, if you're down, man, I'm down to craft up a little squad ride. Take our time today on a slate that's not as, not as glorious looking. We could take our time and make sure we have the right options here in the squad ride poll.
Yeah.
You down?
Yep.
Sure. Gucci, run that puppy. I want to see that damn train. All right, chat. W's. I want to remind you as well. Got the Nerfy starting up here in about 20 minutes in Minnesota and Kansas City. Obear and Michael Waka Nerfy. Okay. If you're looking for something starting up here soon, feel free to get involved. I'm also going to add Colorado on the ML. And Jovan, I wanted to talk to you about that. I know it's an early start. Starts up in, an hour after BTL. So we can leave it out if you don't want it. But I do like that Rockies play. And I do think they get the win.
No, I'd be down to put that in. We don't really have too many options today.
Okay. Let's put it in for now. And if we end up, having more that we like than we anticipated, we can always take it out. Rockies ML. And I'll tell you what, I just got a weird feeling about it. I love backing teams after getting spanked in any sport, right? You get destroyed like that. You get emasculated. I mean, they got absolutely destroyed last night, folks. They're benching some starters. To me, that's a wake-up call. People are going to say, hey, I'd rather have those starters, those better bats in there. I don't know if I would. I might rather have a motivated guy in that lineup today. And that's what you're going to get after some changes are made to that lineup and after getting spanked yesterday, giving up 18 runs. Sheesh.
Yeah.
I'm in. Love that play. All right. What else, Jovan? How are we attacking this Red Sox play? Because we got to do something.
Yeah. I mean, are you big time foot down for first five here?
No. I certainly like the first five, and I think those squares are pretty telling and a great sign in the earned runs category. But if you love the Red Sox on the ML today, if you strongly prefer that over the first five, or if you even just preferred it all, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. I mean, just usually when there's a losing streak involved, or I'm taking a team last game of the series when they're trying to avoid getting swept, I would much rather go full game, especially when there's not a significant difference in the bullpen, which you can rarely say after an 11-inning game, but you can say after yesterday. Just crazy.
Okay. Red Sox ML. Let's lock them in.
Sure.
Hurricanes, to be honest with you, Jovan, if they were this juicy before stream, I wouldn't have even put them in here probably, man. So we could probably leave them out. Sucks.
Yeah.
Because that's a winner. But I don't want to put a minus 160 in here, man. We're not doing that shit.
Fair.
We're not doing that.
Super fair.
Timberwolves?
Be down to put Wolves.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm loving the Wolves tonight. I haven't given an NBA play in a while.
Yeah.
I'm patiently waiting. You down for the
I feel
Wolves?
like you are pretty sharp when you go to the NBA.
Yeah, knock on wood. Agreed. We could run those 3 plays. Was there anything else in your mind, Jovan, besides Rockies, Red Sox, T-Wolves?
There's nothing else I'm dying to go for. I would love some Braves game involvement, maybe the Phillies, but I just not willing to die on those hills. Really not.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't want to even bet that game tonight, Phillies and Braves. Let's just see how it plays out. And it's fun to watch the Braves struggle this much, to be honest with you. It's been a while since the Braves have looked this bad. It's been almost a decade as an NL East guy. It's pretty refreshing. I'm not going to lie to you. So I'm down to just sit back, kick the feet up, and just root against the Braves, to be honest with you.
Just hate watch.
Just hate watch. Good old-fashioned hate watch, right? Been a while since this Braves team stunk it up. OG Sauer, they looked bad at times last year. They're still a playoff team, though. Still made the playoffs, right? All right. Goots, any other plays that you're eyeing? We got time, so I don't want to force here. I want to ask you. I want to ask the chats.
I mean, we can go to tomorrow and just fade the O's. That'll be free.
Goots, man.
Although that could be the move after he said that. We don't need to go to tomorrow. That'd be a crazy person move.
Short slate today. I think those are the 3 best plays we came up with.
Yeah. Just want to make sure there's nothing else you heard that you were loving. And if that's the case, if you didn't, we will ride with these 3 plays and leave the poll up for 4 minutes if you can. And
we'll
close this puppy out on time today. I'll run it. W's, chat, get those votes in. Hurry up. Go, go, go. 3 plays, 3 winners for the BTL squad ride today. Let's stay hot. W Mook 827 with that update as well. Huge inning for Gavin Williams. 10 pitches, 2 Ks. Could be the difference.
Settling in.
Could be the difference. Settling in like some fucking cement. Lock it in. Let's fucking go, Gavin Williams. Couple more innings, my man. Rory needs to lock in, Chaco's saying. Oh, God. Okay, Chaco. Christ. Let's have some faith in the Irishman. Okay? Get those votes in chat. 3 plays, 3 winners. All right? 3 good-looking plays here. 2 on the Diamonds. 1 in the NBA. Look, a lot of Red Sox love. I'll be honest. I really like all 3 of these plays a ton. So I'm not really going to sit up here and say I'm picking a fave. Not surprised to see the Red Sox running away with it, right? We both had them involved in the Sharp reports. Not mad about it one bit. Love the Sox today. I just got a weird feeling about the Rockies, so I'm going to go ahead and say it one more time. I think the Rockies and plus chicken really do win this game. But chat, please, whatever you've been doing, keep doing it. Because we're cashing some of these puppies, knock on wood. Let's cash another one tonight, please. 3 plays, 3 winners. Click the right button like you've been doing. Rockies ML, Red Sox ML, T-Wolves ML. Jovan, you got any preference when it comes to these plays, or you feeling pretty good?
I feel pretty good about all these plays. I definitely
I'd
say I'm with the chat, though. I mean, granted, the one that's there is the only one that's mine, but I like the Red Sox.
Okay.
I'm willing to go to the grave with that tonight.
Okay.
Looks like it's going to be a smart ride getting the votes.
If you're putting foot down saying, hey, wait a minute, I'd rather do this than, the first 5 ML that I was pitching, that already gives me great confidence in this play. You see something that you like, and I'm down to ride. Red Sox ML. Running away with the poll right now. Looking like that's going to be the winner. Chat, you still got about 2 or 3 minutes to get your votes in. All right, what's it going to be? Is it going to be the Rockies ML after losing by 18 last night? Is it going to be the Red Sox ML? Are we going to get a legacy start out of Walker Buehler for the first time this season? I think we do. And then the Timberwolves on the ML flipping from +1 to -2. Pretty weird. I don't know. Maybe no one else thinks that's weird, but that was sticking out to me like a sore thumb.
Stephen Kwan, Barry Bonds.
Kwan stepping up. Kwan him. Sure he can.
Cannon,
chat.
Really bad.
Yeah, Jonathan Cannon's not good. He's not really that good at pitching. I'm with you. Get those votes in chat. If you're watching on YouTube, you still have about 1 or 2 minutes left to make your way over here to the Twitch page at Bookit Sports, please do. Do not just sit there in the YouTube chat. Please make your way over to the Twitch page and lock in your vote for the BTL squad ride today. Let's stay hot. All right, get involved. Don't just sit there. I know we got way more people than this watching the stream today. Get your vote in there, okay? Have your voice heard in the Twitch chat as we get some subbies coming in here. Total Slayer. Oh, my goodness.
Dropping meat.
Closing us out the best way he knows, dropping a 5-unit sub whale. Sure he can.
What a goat.
Sure he can. Slayer, you are him. I know you know it. I don't have to tell you, but you're him. Okay? Hope you have a great day today. All right? And actually, you know what? I know Total Slayer's going to have a great day today. I don't have to hope shit. I know he's going to have a great day today. He's attacking the day. He's dropping subbies left and right. He's keeping the vibes up. He's tailing the squad rides. That's probably why he's dropping so many subbies this week. Let's hit another one, chat. Come on, get those votes in. You got a minute left. Looks like it's going to be the Red Sox on the money line. I'm down to ship it up to Boston tonight, Jovan.
Ship it up to Boston. Can't have a 4-game sweep on our hands, Krabs. Can't have it.
Can't have it. Literally cannot have it. Cannot afford to have it. Not at this point of the season. Not in the Big 2-5. Not when you have all these expectations, all this hype for Mr. Walker Buehler coming over from the West Coast to be one of those, front-end starters for you. Something's got to give. I think tonight the tides turn, and you see his best outing in a Red Sox uni. Okay? Looks like it's going to be the Red Sox on the ML chat. W play. Make sure you guys tail this afternoon. Low-key, this one starts up in a little over 2 hours as well. So early start this afternoon. Do not let it get swept. All right, enjoy the Masters this afternoon, please. Lock in the Red Sox on the ML. We'll all meet at the cash counter and stick around for the surge stream. All right, do me a favor. Pitch Trent a winner, please. All right, spoon feed him some winners. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow, same time, same place on BTL Friday. We'll be.